Thanks for joining us for a Bible adventure from My First Bible Storybook, published by Concordia Publishing House. Today's Bible adventure is the story of Jesus walking on the water from the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verses 22 through 32. Jesus told his disciples that he wanted to go up on a mountain by himself. He wanted to spend time praying to God, and he would meet them afterward. So Jesus told the disciples to take a boat and sail across the big lake of Gennesaret. He would meet them on the other side of the lake when he was done praying. Jesus went up to pray, and the disciples set sail in a boat. After they sailed far out on the big lake, a very strong storm with dark, rainy skies suddenly came upon the boat. Big waves crashed against the boat again and again, and the disciples were very frightened. They were afraid their boat would sink. Just as it looked like all was lost, Jesus came walking on the water to meet them. In his white clothes, Jesus looked like a ghost to the disciples, and they were even more afraid. But then Jesus called to them, "Don't be afraid. It is me." Peter wanted to be sure it was Jesus, so he called out, "Jesus, if it is you, tell me to come out of the boat and walk on the water to meet you." "Come, Peter," Jesus said, and Peter recognized Jesus' voice. Peter stepped out of the boat and onto the water. He walked a short way on the surface of the water just like Jesus. But when Peter looked away from Jesus and down at the big waves, he felt the strong winds blowing and was afraid of the dark sea beneath him. Peter began to sink into the water. He shouted, "Save me, Jesus! Help me!" Immediately Jesus went to Peter, grabbed his hand, and pulled him out of the water. "Peter," Jesus said, "why were you afraid? Why did you not trust me?" Then they climbed up in the boat, and the storm stopped. Jesus' other disciples saw all of this and were astonished. They all said, "Jesus, you are truly God's own Son."